this point in the week, getting ready to make the trip up to Seattle?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a heck of a challenge. They got a really good football team, and they've been good for quite a while up there. And so they got a lot of talented guys who won a lot of football games. And, you know, they're coming off their bye, and they look like they're getting healthy again on offense. Got some guys, you know, Gaston's coming back, and he's healthy fully. And so it's going to be a heck of a challenge for us.
You've been talking about, you know, most of our meetings on these days are talking about that slow and steady progress. You feel like that's still the direction you're still making?
Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously we had some tough matchups against Stanford that we weren't able to execute the way we wanted to. There's some things that we feel like we're progressing and getting better at, and some things it's 2 steps forward, 1 step back.
Where are you taking the 2 steps back? What area are you taking 2 steps back? You feel
well,
like?
I didn't feel like we tackled it as well as we had in the previous couple of games, and then just you know, obviously being able to match up with big receivers was a struggle for us against Stanford.
Would that have been an issue regardless how well you were playing?
Yeah, the stretch rack did not work. You know, as much as we try to get our DBs bigger, we put corners, we put safeties, we put linebackers on their tight ends, and it really didn't matter. You know, they just did a great job. They got good players at those spots, and they're tough matchups all around.
Yeah, there were a couple times when you guys seemed like you had the tackle made, and they just dragged you for yardage.
There's a size differential, and that comes into play. So, but I mean, the thing that we're pleased about, you watch the game. You know, I mean, we're down at halftime, and our guys came out in the second half, and they still played hard. They played all the way through the fourth quarter. There was no let up. There was no give up at all with our guys. And so, you know, those things are all positive that we can build off of, and the attitude that they have. And, you know, that's what we just keep trying to coach them, is keep working hard and keep working to get a little bit better every single time that we're out there, every single snap, trying to get a little bit better.
Coach,
go ahead.
Go ahead, Nick.
Well, the questions come up, you know, as the defense playing hard all throughout, and I think that goal line stand there in the fourth quarter, was that kind of indicative that you guys?
Yeah, for sure.
You made them go to fourth down.
We made them go to fourth down, and even there they barely got in. You know what I mean? And so the guys they're competing, and even you know, on the one that you see that the quarterback pulls and runs down the sideline. You see Shamar Smith run about 40 yards. You know, he was playing the dive in the middle and ran down the quarterback and pushed him out, you know, out of bounds. And that goes, you know, our whole mentality is to keep fighting to make them snap it again. You know, they haven't got in until they get in, and the guys have done that. And so obviously we're going to keep working to get a little better execution, but you know, the competitive toughness and the willingness to stay in the fight has been there.
Going back to that cornerback matchup that you mentioned against Stanford, what can you do moving forward when those mismatches, you know, are there and you can't make up the height? What choices do you have at that point?
Well, you got to try to recruit some larger people. I mean, that's the first thing you got to do. You got to have some of those matchups that you can do, and it's you know, and then you know, hopefully you can have some versatile players that can match up with those guys on your roster to try to do it. You know, it's just there was times we had them doubled and even triple covered, and they still went and caught the football.
You obviously weren't around last year when you played Washington. Did you watch much of them from last year, and then obviously seen this year? Did they look much different on offense?
I have not watched much of from last year. Obviously, we got tons of tape from we got 10 games to watch from this year and who they have and what their personnel is, and so, you know. But obviously, you know, Coach Smith is familiar with their offense and everything like that, and gave us a little bit of insight. But, you know, I don't think they've changed a whole lot from what they do. Obviously, every year, every team takes on a new personality based on the personnel that they have and stuff like that. They're a little bit different, but I think that, you know, their scheme hasn't changed dramatically compared to last year.
What has that been like working with Coach Smith, obviously coming from his background and his relationship with Chris Peterson? Well, you're not going to tell me what he's told you, but like what has that been like to work with him when he does have an insight?
Well, you know, just even, you know, I've been able to use him as a sounding board all season long when, you know, have him watch our tape and say, hey, you know, as an offensive coordinator, how would you go and attack us? What are the weak points that you see? That's always great to get a perspective from the other side of the football, and he's been able to do that for us and give us some feedback on some of the holes and stuff like that we have that, hey, schematically, you may want to look at this or look at that. And, you know, that's been great feedback all along, and, you know, we got a great relationship, and I appreciate and value his feedback.
With Washington, though,